Hello, Franklin here again. This time David Schwartz is doing his first session of Gestalt work on awareness. This is a 2-hour session. First hour, I'm not going to give much feedback. I'm basically going to be his secretary, writing down what he writes, what he says. I write it down so that I can give him feedback during the course of the process and save time afterwards. Okay. Second hour, I'll give a lot of feedback. So a few things that I'll just tell you that I already told David, that we understand that he signed an agreement. He's a lawyer, so he knows about agreements. That we understand that I'm not a therapist, a licensed therapist, even though I've been using these techniques since 1975. I basically taught myself, working with avant-garde actors in New York, and I worked with maybe 630 people in the last 35 years using this process. All right, but we understand we're calling it education, performer training, experimental musical theater, Torah, whatever, a lot of different things. The work is neutral. You could fit into all kinds of contexts. We already did one tape. If you haven't seen our original tape where David was telling us about his life and we discussed the process a little more, I recommend you see that first of all. But if not, you can start off with this tape. It's okay. Let's see, what else? I told him that he's free to censor to protect his privacy. On the other hand, the more he shares, obviously, the more we have to work with. So that's his decision. And then before I show the audience, before I show this video on the net, if I do, then I will also have the opportunity to censor things, to edit it. But I probably will do very little or even no editing. So David needs to realize that he's basically responsible for what goes on the net. What else did I tell you? That's about it. And basically, for 2 hours, we're dealing with the question, what is awareness? Now, everybody has a different idea of what is awareness, of course, but I'm after the one that the Gestalt Therapy people use when they talk about awareness, but he doesn't know about that. He never read the book. So he's going to play a guessing game here. He's going to tell me what he's aware of, and he doesn't know if I'm looking for that meaning of awareness or not. So but that's part of it. He will discover, and I'm glad that he didn't look at other people's work, so I'm glad he won't be copying somebody else or getting the ideas out of a book. It's perfect. The best thing is that he's starting totally blank to discover for himself. We want to see who David is before I start meddling with his life using the other techniques. So
it's a lot to meddle with.
What?
It's a lot to meddle with.
Okay, yeah, and I'm an expert meddler, at least using this system anyway. What's else?
Work on my watch?
What?
Could you work on my watch?
Yeah, I see the...
No, metal.
Oh, metal, oh, he likes to play with words, I just learned something. What else? Oh, I told him, and this is also in the contract, that rather than telling him to trust me, everything will be fine, I'm telling him, don't trust me, I might screw you up terribly. You're taking a big risk here of being in the first place, and
Sorry, I have a psychologist.
but you're a lawyer, so you could probably figure out how to deal with it and get me in big trouble.
But good thing I signed the agreement.
Yeah. I tell people not to trust me, and only trust me as much as you think you can trust me. As you go along, you'll discover how much you can trust me and how much you can't trust me, and then you'll decide for yourself. And basically, you're creating a world of your own awareness, your own reality here, and you don't know what the right answer is. You're kind of flying blind. Okay, maybe that's enough, and I'm taking notes. All right, we need every minute of the work, so we're going to start now. All right, so David, what are you aware of now? And I'm busy taking notes, okay?
I'm aware of where I am in an apartment in a moshav in Adam, outside of Jerusalem. I'm aware that God created the world, and He sustains the world out of His kindness. I'm aware that there are millions or billions of people on this earth, and each one of them is guided
You talk to them. Don't worry about me, okay?
Okay, each one is guided by the divine providence or the Hashgacha Pratit. I'm aware that a person has to raise a family. I'm aware
Hold on,
that...
slow down a little bit. Let me catch up, okay?
Okay. And I guess I'm aware
What was that last time about the family?
that a person must raise a family.
That a person what?
Must raise a family.
Okay, all right.
And I don't know why I continue to say the word aware, but I guess just to repeat myself.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to say, now I'm aware of, and now I'm aware of.
Okay, and now I'm aware of me scratching my hand because I have an itch. And now I'm aware of a lot of, not a lot, but red pots and pans, a red clock, a red Arabic label, a red top on a soap container. I'm aware of a pepper shaker that has a grinder in it. And now I'm
Just slow the whole thing down about 1/3 speed, okay?
Okay.
Say the same stuff, but just say it slower, all right?
Okay.
Go on.
And now I'm aware of yellow and black. And now I'm aware it's a yellow and black lamp.
By the way, I've just remembered that usually when I do this, I'm looking in the same, mainly in your direction. So maybe turn your chair a few degrees there, yeah. So you're looking at me, at the same time you're showing with them. I know it's a bit of a problem, but we are working on this relationship together here, and we're both, at the same time we're letting them watch what we're doing here. Okay, so I know it's a compromise.
That's okay. And now I am aware of a black stand.
Well, maybe a
Tripod.
little more in their direction. Yeah, okay, go on.
I'm aware of a black two black tripods, and a bed, and a stool. And I'm very aware of black and yellow right now. My hat just happens to be yellow. I'm aware of that, and I'm aware that the background screen is black. And now I'm aware of a brown door. I'm also aware that, well, I thought I heard, and I don't know what the time is, but I thought I heard some Muslim-y. Yeah, it's a time for prayer for the Muslims as they're submitting themselves to a higher power, which makes me again aware of the divine providence. I'm aware that I'm in Israel. I'm aware that I left my family. I'm aware that I went on a journey.
Slow it down again, you're speeding up.
Sorry, I speak fast. And now I'm aware that you're ready to write. I'm aware that there's going to be an audience that is going to watch this. And I have to take them into consideration when I do speak. I'm aware that I still have to slow down my awareness so that Franklin can keep up with his pen. I'm aware that Franklin might drink a lot of milk. Maybe not. I'm aware of that because there's many milk cartons. Or maybe it's the FRANKLYN WEPNER, as it says on the red milk carton container. It's very organized. I'm aware of a brown wooden ceiling. I'm aware that we're in a loft of an apartment below. And the people below speak both English and Hebrew. I'm aware of that because I heard them say that. I heard them speak English and I heard them speak Hebrew. I'm also aware that they're doing some cleaning, as one of the sons I believe the name is Zachariah, was holding a squeegee and moving water to a hole. I'm also aware that there might be a
Hold it. And maybe better than, maybe take a pause about after every couple of sentences, so I can catch up, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go on.
I'm also aware that another son or family member, pretty much it's a son, he has a name of Nachman, because when he came to the stairs, his mother greeted him with his name. I'm also aware that the landlord, because Franklin told me that the landlord travels to Tel Aviv 2 days a week. So I'm aware that his landlord works in Tel Aviv 2 days a week.
All right, maybe, let me just take a minute here.
Okay.
So, well, you're challenging my process here because you talk so quickly and you say so much, you know. Some people, you know, they just, they don't say practically anything and they take long pauses, but you're the opposite. And you have there are a lot of things you're aware of here. But still, I need to, what are you looking at?
You wanted a minute.
Oh, a minute, okay. Well, I might take more, I'm gonna take more than a minute, I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, so what I need to do is to examine what you're doing here, okay? I
Okay.
need to read this and see if I begin to see patterns, you know, Gestalt, a pattern.
Gestalt
The
means
word
pattern.
Gestalt means, in Hebrew it's tavnit, therapeuta tavnit, therapy of patterns. So let's see.
So I could throw you off by not having any sort of pattern. But
Well,
eventually there'll be a pattern.
let me do what I'm doing, okay? I can't answer you and also do this. All right, so, well, what's interesting here is there's so much awareness, first of all. So I'm running down my feedback. Much awareness, all types. So that's basically a very healthy process here. On the other hand, if I give you the feedback now, maybe you can refine it so that you can be more zero in on the kind of awareness work that we need to do in this process here more. Okay. For example, I'm aware of where I am, in Moshav Adam, that God created the world that sustains it, that there are a billion peoples on earth, each one guided by a divine providence, that I want to raise a family. You notice what the pattern here. The pattern is, well, in a sense, there is no pattern. The pattern is that you're jumping from one to the other, quickly, okay? So I'm writing down rapid jumps, leaps, okay? No pauses, basically no pauses. So that's a pattern. And you didn't get stuck in one particular kind of awareness because you right away, you went from body sensation, I'm scratching an itch, to red pots and pans, you're seeing colors right away. That's good contact with the environment. You're noticing different colors, yellow, red, black. The door is brown. Then you started using your ears. Using your ears right away, you heard the Muslim prayers.
And then I went back to God.
That I'm in Israel. Okay, now you need to make a distinction here between what is an awareness of something and what is an idea about something.
And then I said they submitted to a higher.
But let me tell you something here. See, I'm giving you feedback, and then we're going to do the same process again. And the question is, how much of what I'm telling you is going to sink in? How much is going to be like water in a duck? You know, well, that's what we want to see here. So listen carefully. For example, when you say, "I am in Moshav Adam," is Moshav Adam on this thing? No. Is it in the room? No. It's an idea. Okay? It's an abstract idea.
Yeah.
And this process is concrete. Gestalt, the idea of concrete, it's a meditative process, and they're like concentrating on your breathing. We're looking for basic kinds of reality here, and not ideas about reality. So that this is a moshav, is an idea about this place, but at a very high level that includes all the people and everything. Okay. That there are a billion people on Earth also is something you learn once in a geography lesson or something, but it's not. You don't see the billion people here.
Okay.
Okay, you see the difference? And that each one is guided by divine providence. Divine providence is another abstract idea. You know.
So I need to.
I'm not saying that these are not important experiences. They're obviously important experiences. I must raise a family. Again, a family is an idea about certain people, but they're not here in this room.
So you want more of the scratching of the hand?
I'm not saying what to do. I'm saying I'm telling you what you did and how it's different from what the Gestalt idea of awareness is. Okay? All right. So first of all, the speed, jumping from one thing to another, and rather than taking the time to really experience one thing at a time, you know. Not that we need to do that all the time, but at least some of the time. Of course, for a lawyer trying to survive and make a living in this world, it's very important to be able to process information quickly. And so it's an important technique that I'm sure is helpful in your work. All right, let me see. Yeah, there was also something, it's almost like that speed is a compulsion. I told you 3 times to slow down, but you didn't slow down practically at all. So it's kind of like a machine that gets going. You know what I mean?
But I thought maybe I did slow down.
Well, maybe you did, but
not slowed enough.
We're not, no, yeah. It was not much change.
No, I think though when you said about the sentences, once you said every sentence, then it clicked.
All right.
Maybe.
You notice how you're defending yourself now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it defending?
Wait,
or
let me finish. Questions basically are not allowed in this particular 2-hour process,
Okay.
or in general Gestalt therapy. Questions are a way of saying you work and not me. All right, so I'm going to discourage questions. All right. I know it sounds very authoritarian, but it's for the sake of this process. That there's an audience, I need to take them into consideration. Okay. Again, but you don't see the audience, you see what do you see? You didn't say what you do see. What do you see there, if you look?
Black curtains.
Yeah. Okay, thing is, you don't see the audience, you see some other things, all right?
Yeah.
All right? You see a lot of milk cartons, and then that was good. That was a good example. Okay? That was a good example of creative thinking here in this process. First you see the cartons, and then once you see it, then you draw a conclusion. FRANKLYN must drink a lot of milk. Okay? As a matter of fact, you're wrong about how I got the cartons here. It doesn't matter, but at least you saw something, so you're, the process is, in other words, what we want to learn here is Start with reality first, concrete, and then jump to your, add as much stuff as you want. But start with reality.
Okay.
Rather than just start with a big abstract construction of what reality is about and never get to the reality.
Okay.
Or you might have started, but if you see things and hear things so quickly, infinitesimally, you spend 99% of your time drawing conclusions from that 1%, then there's an off balance here, all right? So you saw the cartons, you saw he drinks a lot of milk, he's very organized because the cartons are organized. So that's the right, that's the good model of what we're looking for. Then you began to use your fantasy zone, another kind of reality, because you remembered images of what happened half an hour ago when you saw the people downstairs, you know, and you saw the kid, and you remembered the kid, and you remembered that they spoke two different languages. Okay, so there you were beginning to use your imagination, which is the third kind of awareness. So that now you've now used, basically you know all the kinds of awareness there are. According to the Gestalt theory, there ain't no other reality than just those three things. What we, in the environment, in our body, and in our imagination. Everything else is some kind of a construct based on processing that information. That's the theory. Now you might disagree, but I'm not going to go into haggling on right now. Again, you had very good. You saw that he was using a squeegee, and you said they must be doing cleaning. See, that was again. You didn't just say, oh, it's Passover time, they must be doing cleaning. You said, I see he had a squeegee in his hand, and therefore I conclude that they're doing cleaning. All right? So you're doing the right things here, according to this theory. You're very perceptive. You grabbed a lot of details, and even a short time, just seeing those kids down there and listening for 5 minutes, you knew the two kids' names, and you remembered the thing about the landlord going to Tel Aviv and all that stuff. So you have very good memory, very good use of your imagination to see images and stuff. All the pieces are working here. It's a very, very encouraging beginning. As a performer, you have the tools, it seems, to function. You know, for example, a lot of people don't use this faculty or that faculty, and so for them to start performing holistically, because the audience sees all the realities. But an actor that blocking out either his imagination or his body awareness or his outer zone contact or something, you know. If the audience sees something and the actor doesn't see it, then there's reality missing.
Yeah.
It's not, the actor starts being less convincing. Okay, so now I gave you feedback, all right?
Okay.
Now let's try again, all right? What are you aware of now?
I'm aware that my feet are on white or off-white tile floor. I'm aware that I'm in an apartment and looking up and noticing a slant in the ceiling and the sun coming through the window that is blocked by a blue scarf, if you will, that I'm not on the ground floor. And a matter of fact, I'm aware that I'm definitely not on the ground floor of this building, because when I walked through the gate, I walked upstairs. And those stairs were an addition to the house because they were metal and black. Not that it matters if they were black or white, but they were not made of the material of the house, being of cement and other materials. So they didn't fit the scene, so there must be some sort of building work that was done so that this place where my feet are on the ground of the white tile floor, that I'm in a apartment of some sort. And that it's been adjusted so that it could be used as a add-on or a apartment for some person to rent or live in and have their own privacy and live their own life. I'm aware of a red flashing light. And a camera, a video camera, that's recording not only me, but also my voice, because there's a microphone. The camera is stationary. There's no one behind it. There's a place for someone to be behind it, or two people to be behind it, or four people, but it'd be crowded if there's four people. I say two people because there's two chairs, and chairs are made to sit on. I say four people because there's a bed behind that seems to be a double or a full mattress that could fit two people. However, a single mattress could also fit two people. Not so comfortably. Well, unless you could be comfortable, I guess. Could be very comfortable. Also, there's two cameras, however, one's working because there's one flashing light. Assuming that a flashing light means that a camera's operating, or any electrical device is operating. Also aware that we must be above ground because I hear birds chirping. And they seem to be pretty close. Maybe only one bird 2 birds. They're not angry birds.
Hmm?
So they're not angry birds.
Oh.
And I don't think they're big birds. Unless this was Sesame Street.
They're not big birds?
They're not big birds.
Yeah.
Unless it's Sesame Street.
Unless it's Sesame Street.
You know what Sesame Street is?
Vaguely, yeah.
It was a children's show and they had a character, Big Bird.
Uh-huh.
Big yellow bird. I'm aware that this apartment that I'm in is also in a neighborhood with young children. That's speaking a foreign language. Foreign to me, that is. Well, not so foreign. I do understand that it's Hebrew. But foreign to my ability to understand what they're saying. There's a road. I know it from the car that just drove by, but also know it because I walked on that road to get here. And I'm aware, and now I'm aware that it's a religious neighborhood, even though I was aware that it was before I got here.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's stop again, okay?
Okay.
Well, you're getting much closer to the mark now. I see you're having alternating occasional pauses and giving yourself time to more time to zero in on what you're actually contacting. You're doing a lot with a lot of outer zone awareness, okay, which is very nice. Getting much more in touch with the outer zone. And by the outer zone, I mean the environment. All right, and you're not just jumping so much, but you're working with more of associations. Remember that Nachman Bresov said, "Torah shali kulo bechinot."
Which means?
My Torah is totally bechinot, which means bechinot is aspects of and associations, basically. My Torah is totally associations. In other words, to allow this to associate to that, you know. So you see a red, I see a red this. Oh, that, and now I see a red that, and now I see a red that. You know, it's not just I see a red this, and then my father died yesterday. No, there's a connection there.
There has to be a link or something.
There's an association process, you know, and that's very much a part of creative thinking. But you're doing much more of that now because you slow down, so your mind can do that better. You also, a lot of, you're also figuring out, I see something, therefore this happened and that happened, and there's a lot of much more structure to the thing, shall we say structure. You see something and then you infer things from that. And this is nice, your imagination here, a fantasy about how many people behind the camera there. So you're beginning to use your imagination more and allowing more time for the, see, when you slow down, there's more time for the fantasy to develop, you know? You have time to imagine the 4 people, and then the 2 people, and then the bed, and et cetera, et cetera. Right? So that wouldn't have happened if you were racing from one thing to the other. You know what I mean? Okay. The same thing with the bird. You hear something, and you stay with it long enough to have ideas about it. 1 bird, 2 birds, angry birds, not angry birds, big birds, small birds, you know. Same thing, you remember the image of the kids speaking Hebrew, and then that led to associations about that. And again, you hear a car go by, and then, see, you didn't just say there's a road. You said, I hear a car, there must be a road. That was, again, okay, so that all is good. And one way to think of this process, if this were a show, it is a show, it's an audience. If this is a show, what kind of an actor is the audience seeing? In other words, how much reality are you giving them? Are there areas of reality that you're not giving them? Is there a balance here? What's missing? All right, what are you avoiding? Because we're working towards shleimut, wholeness. All right, total enlightenment. So, can you tell me before I tell you what's been missing so far? Or I'll tell you.
I would guess. What I would feel that would be missing is some sort of a very dry. Dry. No real emotion.
Emotion, okay.
There's no real, I'm just going from a state of just being really not dramatic.
No, emotion, okay, which in other words, that ties in with, I was going to say that what's missing is, there's so much on 2 things you're doing a lot of. One is outer zone awareness, very good in touch, sizing up the joint. You know, you see it all, you hear it all, right? And then drawing conclusions from that, which is,
It's analytical, it's my lawyer.
Analytical, okay, that's it, I was going to say the same thing.
But there's no dynamic, really.
Well, there is a dialectic. Things are developing. You go from this to that to that. You can see the tree unfolding here. You find an idea, and then we watch the branches that are coming out. So we can't say that it's a very restricted. There's a lot of going on here, and also there's a lot of awareness because you are seeing a lot of things. It's not like you're only focusing, on one thing. You're focusing on a lot of different things. And your mind is very active, your imagination is also at work. So, but still there are...
There's no self-awareness. I'm not focusing on myself.
That's
that
it.
I'm here, that I'm in a picture.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say what's missing here so far is what we call the inner zone. In other words, body awareness.
Mm.
We haven't heard a word about what's going on inside that outer shell there.
Okay.
The body, that's one thing. So the audience is watching an actor here that, like what you said, emotions. Yeah, you're not in touch so much with your body. Since you're not in touch with your body, you don't have the information of what's going on and what emotions you're feeling.
Self-awareness, I guess.
Well, self is a big word.
Okay. Fine.
So I would say inner zone. Now there's one other thing. If this is a scene here, how many people are in the scene? Two. But the audience, so far we have an actor that is totally ignoring his scene partner. You haven't said one word about me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You could be doing a monologue with listening to a tape and something, and it would be the same thing.
And that's the point that you made earlier about the audience would be seeing you, but I wouldn't be seeing you. So
if the audience sees the two people in the scene, and this actor, one particular actor, is in his own world and not relating to, no matter how interesting that world is, there's something missing.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is not quite there. All right? All right. Let's see, what time is it? We started at, I should have written...
09.
What?
09 we
Oh,
started.
glad you wrote that down. We started at 3:09, okay. So now, right now, we still have time. All right, so let's do this whole process one more time, all right?
Okay.
I'm still letting you carry the ball here. I'm still not directing you very closely.
Okay.
You do it, and then I give comments, and then you do it again, all right?
Okay.
But in another half an hour, another 20 minutes or so, we're going to shift over where I'm, much more zeroing on everything that happens, okay?
Okay.
All right, so go ahead. What are you aware of now? And start every sentence with now I'm aware of, right?
Okay. And now I'm aware that I'm speaking to someone who's taking notes.
Slow, give me time to catch up.
No problem. And that camera is shooting everything in front of it that it can pick up. Not that it's a camera that has hands that can pick up anything, but I use pick up in the sense of anything that is within its line of vision, but a camera doesn't have vision like a person, but a line of sight. And be aware more of my partner or person in my life. Or give them time. Because I'm aware that Franklin is writing at a frantic pace. And in this particular instance, I'm aware that the mouth is quicker than the hand.
All right, I gotta switch. Yeah.
And it said that the hand is quicker than the eye. So, if I got this straight, Franklin, anyone can tell me, I guess, whoever's watching out there on the internet or wherever this film is going to go, that from my statements, the mouth is quicker than the hand. The eye slower than the hand. And the hand is faster than the eye. Which means absolutely nothing. No. I don't know what that means. It means that if you were to rank them, that I guess the question you have to ask is, what's faster, the mouth or the hand? I mean, the mouth or the eye? Or how they relate to each other. And what changes if I stand up? And now that, or if I...
They don't see you, you know. You're blocking.
They see my back.
They see your back, right? Okay, that's it.
But by standing up, I change my perspective.
Okay.
And then if they want to see, I can sit in a chair without having a chair.
Try to do that a little further up here, so we can see it better. Or in fact, move the chair out of the way. If you wanted to move around a little bit, then move the chair out of the way. Yeah, that's better.
And now a person doesn't necessarily need a chair to sit. I'm also aware the closer that I move to the camera, the warmer it is. And again, saying what I said before, person doesn't necessarily need a chair to sit, because I can sit on the floor. We have another 9 minutes, Franklin. You want to recap, or do you want to continue on this path?
Okay, I'll stop again. We have 9 minutes. Yeah. See, I can't see the clock for good light. It's blurry to me. I took off.
You have your glasses in your pocket.
Yeah, but then this won't work so well with the glasses. I need to write without glasses. Anyway, so let's go back here. Okay. It's interesting. You're going in all kinds of directions here. So I would say it's not consistent. Like you're trying out options, maybe would be a good way to put it. Different ways of using the exercise, you know. Is this awareness? Is that awareness? You know, and trying things out. So at least you're exploring. I'd say exploring.
Mm-hmm.
You started off here. One thing you explored that you didn't do a lot of it, but you just did one time. And since you did it, let me use it as an opportunity to teach you, or maybe you probably know about this word anyway. You know what a projection is?
Projection, yeah.
In psychology.
No.
No.
I know what a film projected on a wall.
No, but I mean a person that walks along the street and or a woman walks along the street, think, oh, and see somebody, oh, that guy he's out to get me, you know, or somebody walks along and thinks, oh, that guy wants to kill me, you know, but you don't know, it's a guess. So a lot of times, not always, a lot of times, I mean, really, sometimes the woman might be right. She better get the hell out of there, you know.
Projection of paranoia, or what?
Yeah, paranoia is another word for it. That's an example of when we have a certain feeling, and we imagine somebody else has that feeling towards us. We're projecting.
Ah, projecting. Okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. The word is pro is forward, and jactare is to throw. We throw forward a certain idea and imagine that it's out there coming back at us, you know?
Okay.
All right, so you said the camera is shooting everything it can pick up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a beautiful projection of what you do. You have a tendency to do also. You also tend to do that. In other words, to shoot everything you can pick up. It's like, you know, you're looking around, picking up a lot of stuff, a lot of information. We remember you pointed out at the beginning, you know, your outer zone is super in touch, you know, really case in the joint. Seeing lots and lots of details and drawing conclusions from that. So you see the cameras doing that also, you know, you put the idea of a, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that consciously or subconsciously, but...
Well, I'm not making judgments, I'm just pointing out descriptively what you did. And then notice the image you use of shooting, you know, it's a kind of aggressive idea. But then you didn't do much of that, you just did it once, and that's all. What I got here? Okay, then you really got lost from the awareness. I thought you would, I gave you good feedback, I think. I think I gave you accurate feedback. And then somehow you didn't use it. But instead of doing what you were doing before, you did something else. You did other things. Rather intellectual mind games, I would say, or something. For example, you remembered something your wife said about, you said, Franklin pointed this out, and this reminded me of what my wife said, that I have a tendency to do this and that I jump here, I jump to the conclusions, you know, but it was like, you were like a psychologist telling us your observations about yourself, you know, so that was intellectual, about you, but not you. It was not concrete awareness, it was an abstract idea about who you are and what people think you are. That's called aboutism in Gestalt therapy. About life rather than life. Life, Gestalt therapy, or awareness in general, meditative process in general, is a here and now about contact, living experiences, rather than about life. Analyzing you know, all the things you've done in the last 50 to 20 years is still not living your life. All right? I don't take the time to take in but then you did see, you use your eyes, you see that I'm writing at a frantic pace. All right? Then you went back to a little bit of outer zone. And then you got involved again in a mind-boggling exercise here. Which is quicker, the mind or the hand or the eye? You know, you went on about 2 or 3 minutes there. With this kind of asking yourself an intellectual, giving yourself an intellectual riddle. It makes me think of a really funny character you could play, you know. In fact, it makes me think of Beckett. You ever hear Beckett's? Mm-hmm. I'm not much into literature, but I do remember he tends to write things where a character might stand there, let's see, just analyzing himself, something like this. Well, if I move my hand now, how will that affect my elbow? Or, and if I move them both together, will I see them, how will that affect my idea about this? And I just noticed maybe I should move one and this one first, maybe I should move that one first, you know? It's like posing yourself as some kind of intellectual riddle about life, but again, it's based on a tiny bit of awareness about my speed. You took the idea of me riding quickly, and then you went on with a whole dissertation about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was an intellectual discussion about speed. But the most obvious, what was happening at that moment with you ignored. What were you doing at that moment when you were giving us the lecture about speed? You were doing this.
And I was closing my eyes.
And you didn't have enough body awareness to notice that my hands are hitting each other.
Okay.
You know? That was reality at that moment. But you were somewhere else. You understand?
A little bit.
A little bit? Well,
yeah.
maybe you'll see more later, okay? Again, which is faster? And then, again, it's so much like Beckett. What happens if I stand up? Will I see it this way, or will I see it that way? Now, there was an interesting mixture of awareness and body awareness, but yet going at it in an intellectual way. It's kind of intellectual. I'm going to write it, intellectual awareness exercise here, or game or something. What changes if I stand up? What happens if this? What happens if I do that? But still, you didn't tell us anything about what's going on in your body.
Yeah. My legs hurt, my back hurts, my back's straight.
Yeah. As though to say my body awareness is not important. What's important is what I think about it. And again, you ignored me again, basically. You saw for 2 seconds I'm writing quickly, but you still ignored me. You did, when you got closer to the camera, that you did feel warmness, so that was a little bit of awareness, but that was on the surface of your skin. You know, you feel warm on the surface of your skin. So you were searching for some kind of idea by trying out different postures. You were, again, it makes you think of Beckett. It's like a person in a little world trying to find all reality inside his own little world. And this world consists of snippets of awareness, followed by riddles and analysis and questions.